This is my take on water starting a low volume foil board when wing foiling. It's been a long process and I thought I'd share my experience on how to do this. Is it easy? Hell no. Here's my experience. So the equipment that I'm using, a Sunova 5.3 foil board. It's 42 litres, I'm 80 kilograms, so very roughly half my body weight in volume. It's been a long and frustrating at times journey. The clip that I'm playing at the moment is about 3 minutes, and it's just literally me falling off my board time and time again. But I thought I'd include it just so that I can explain what's going on. So I started off my foiling journey with a 6.5 125 litre sort of SUP foil board, which I also used for wing foiling. I then progressed on to a Fanatic 5.0, which is 75 litres, and now I'm on this 5.3 Sunova, 43 litres, 42, 43, which I actually find easier than the 75 litre board. I'm not sure why. I think when you're kneeling on it, it's about a foot underneath the surface of the water, and that allows you to have a little bit more stability. You're not being knocked around by every single piece of chop. So my first bit of advice is, if you haven't tried it, it's being a board that literally does sink under the water when you're sitting or kneeling on it, then give it a go. I wingfoil predominantly in very choppy waters, so it's always got some surface disturbance and sizable swell plus chop mixed in with it. And the 75 litre board, being 7 litres less than my body weight in kilograms, it was buffeted around a lot more by the chop and the swell. So having a board that sinks about a foot roughly, maybe a little bit more, just means that you're not being knocked over by every bit of swell or chop. So as you can see, it's still a problem from time to time. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I can get up no problem at all first go, and other times I'm literally doing this for 3-4 minutes before I manage to get going. So the technique, I always hold on to the rail protector part of my my leash that's connected to the leading edge of the wing, and here we go. So rearranging the board so that it's next to the leading edge, grabbing a hold of the leash close to the leading edge, and then levering myself up onto my knees on the board. I know other people do this differently. This is just my how I find it easier. So once I'm kneeling, I find it much easier if you have the leading edge literally right next to you, so that you can lean against it. Now here you can see, I've paused it a second, leaning back on the board, tips it up instantly, and you're off. I think that was a bit of swell that sort of pushed me off balance. So reset, start again, pull myself up onto my knees, holding onto the leading edge, the front handle, and then pulling the leading edge above me, and with my left hand grabbing a hold of the boom, quickly transferring my front hand onto the boom as well, and then pumping to get the board floating on the surface of the water. Keep pumping to get a little bit of momentum going, then standing up and pumping like crazy the wing and the foil board to get up onto the foil. So here in slow motion, I'm kneeling. My right hand, I'm going to lift up the wing with my back hand and put it onto the trying to self-right myself. I can feel the board going off balance, so sometimes you've got to let go and push the board, manhandle it with the other hand. So once you've got the wing above you, The really important thing is just to maintain your balance and pump until the board is actually not only floating on the surface but just moving along. It doesn't have to be particularly fast at this stage. Then you can stand up, and it's just a case here of the better your technique for pumping the wing and the board at the same time to get up onto your foil, then the easier it'll be to get up from there. So most of the time when you fall over, you'll probably find your wing upside down. So I always find it essential to flip your wing over to begin with. There's no way that I can flip my wing over once I'm kneeling on the board. It's just not stable enough. So again, trying to get the leading edge as close to the board as possible. Doesn't matter which side I am, in between the board and the leading edge or the other side of the board, it doesn't matter. Leaving myself up onto my knees and then trying to lift the wing up as quick as I can and start that pumping motion. Now when it's windy, no problem at all. It's just when it's, oh, here we go. So yeah, again, not enough wind means that everything becomes harder, and I strongly advise you going out powered up. This particular day was very gusty, so it was like 12 to probably 11 to about 16, 17 knots. So yeah, starting again, as you have to, quite a lot when you're learning this process. Kneeling on the board, bringing the wing above you, trying to get your hands positioned on the boom or the handles quick as you can. Pump to get the board on the surface, stand up, pump like crazy, and usually away you go. I've got a few more clips here just to show you what's going on, a few other little hints of things when they go wrong. So again, you can see me trying to pump to get the board on the surface of the water and moving so the board is skimming across the top of the water. That's essential before you stand up. Once you've done that, yeah, light wind makes it really, really difficult. But when you're powered, there you go, you can stand up. And then this was a really light wind session, or at least this was a lull, a big lull. And you can see me flailing about like an idiot here, trying to get the board up into the foil. Well, I figured out soon after this, in my defence, it was a lull. But if you look at my front foot, it's far too far forward. So I've just shifted my front foot backwards there. But here on this clip, I've included this one because you can see my front foot position is in the right position for me. So, and this clip here is just showing that you can actually use the leading edge. If you lose your balance, whack the leading edge on the surface of the water, saves you falling over. So I hope that helps, and any comments, I'd love to hear them, see and hear how you guys do it. This is just my technique. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there who do it differently. Ultimately, it's worth the pain because you can use a much smaller board which feels so much more responsive, and it's so much easier to pump and maneuver. Cool. All right. Take care and have fun.